What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Motorfest. So I did want to make a video going over the best way to max out the rally class. I do know a lot of players are looking to max out basically all of them. That way when like a summit comes around, they actually have like the best sets for them. But do let me know in the comments below, guys, if you would like me to cover a different class like racing. Now I have to admit the rally class is probably going to be on the easier side, and that will come down to the fact that, well, many of these cars are going to be pretty dang fast. So for example, guys, I am currently running a score breaker set on this car right now, which funnily enough, I seem to be getting more of these score breakers first, and then afterwards I have to keep grinding to get a Nitrochemist set. What's kind of funny about the Rally class, though, is I do not even have a full loot digger for this class. Like, I am still missing a suspension part, but funnily enough, I still managed to get a Nitrochemist and also a Bucks Magnet as well, including the score breaker set, so I guess in some ways it is going to come down to like the overall RNG that you have, but who knows, guys, maybe in the future we might see a bit of an update with like Goldfinger and Lucky, because they do really need to be addressed in some way. But besides all that though, guys, moving outside into the map view here to go over the events. So I have to admit one thing, by the way, has anyone else noticed like the weather changes in the game do seem to be a bit off? Like, for example, I am not normally getting a storm and or basically never, so hopefully they might fix something with that in the future. But if you guys are wondering, by the way, with the rally class, you can basically do any event of your liking. So for example, guys, fast traveling over to a Liberty Walk event, which is going to be one of my favorite races to grind with the other classes. And luckily, guys, similar to many of the other events, you can also basically pick any class of your liking, at least most of them. You obviously can't run like a plane and or a boat in this because that would probably make no sense. Imagine trying to drive a boat on the ground. That would probably be like something from SpongeBob. But nonetheless, though, having this like a rally vehicle in an event like this, do keep in mind there's also going to be AI, and I did notice the rallycross vehicles only do maybe like 180 to like 190, so they're not going to be as fast as like a street car. So if you guys are used to completing many of these events a lot quicker, do keep in mind that many of them are going to be a bit longer when using a car like a rally class vehicle. So that is something to keep in mind when you are grinding out this class, guys, because you can do basically any of the events around the entire map, but do keep in mind, for example, let's say you're doing the Gear Valley, and you are looking to get this done as quick as possible, so these events here are mainly going to be pretty much based on like rally raids, so you are going to be on some crazy like terrain for that matter, and if you are, the car is obviously not going to be as quick as like a rally raid car, so you are most likely going to be a bit slower, which in a good way though, you're most likely going to get more parts because the race is taking longer. So I guess in some way it's probably going to be a win-win slash like a lose-lose because, well, you're obviously going to be slower in some events, but you're also going to get more parts. So at least you might be able to max them out a bit quicker. But the first event though, guys, that I did end up grinding a lot with the Rallycross class is going to be located pretty close by to Wahiwa. It's going to be called Get Dirt On It, which funnily enough I do believe is going to be one of the only rallycross events in the entire game. Like, I have been noticing though, guys, a lot of people have been mentioning this as well. So for example, the rallycross class basically has one event here, and the other ones are basically going to be mixed with other races. So yeah, you could do like the races over here on the mountain like Friday night rides, but who actually wants to use a rallycross vehicle in events like that? And you can also do like the vintage garage events, which have so far been my favorite. I've basically been doing more of those pretty much more than anything else, but I do think having more events for like Demolition Derby and stuff like that would be a lot more fun, and I really do think a lot more rallycross events would be great. Like, there is a lot of dirt roads around the map that you could easily put more of these events in here, similar to something like the Crew 2 back before when there's a lot of events to do, but Get Dirt On It, guys, is by far going to be one of my favorites. It's also going to be a fairly easy race that can be done in around 3 minutes, so I definitely spent hours on this event though, guys, when maxing out the rally class. Now don't get me wrong though, you can easily do basically any of the other races, but I was having a great time with this one, and of course it's like the only rally event in the game, so you pretty much have to grind this one out, and one of the best things about it, there's not going to be any AI to annoy you. And then, of course, guys, moving over to the second event, I did end up grinding basically alongside the other one here, is actually going to be the Hummer E-Express right over here in Wahiwa. I would probably say this event is not going to be very shocking because, well, it is probably one of the best events you can actually grind with many of the other classes. Do keep in mind, as I did mention earlier, though, there is going to be a lot of skips on this one, Which, by the way, guys, I have to admit, I really hope they never actually patch this event in some way. Like, for example, they add something to where you have to follow the actual objective, instead of going, like, backwards and then heading toward the town here, and then, of course, skipping most of the event and landing on that dirt road. So, hopefully they never actually do that, which I don't think they will. But if they do, this race is definitely not going to be nearly as effective as it was before. So do keep that in mind if you guys are grinding this one out. But even with the Rallycross vehicles being slightly less effective in some areas, guys, you can still do the Hummer E-Express in around 1 minute in 40 seconds. Now, I do want to mention, by the way, guys, you can definitely grind out basically many of the other events on the map if you would like to with the Rallycross class, but the Hummer E-Express and the Get Dirt on it are probably going to be my favorite, and I got pretty much 90% of my game time with this class on those two events. But if you guys are looking for a few other events you can grind without the I would definitely recommend the Drive This Way Vintage Garage Race, and you can also do the Mustang Sally on the right side of the map here. I really feel like these are probably going to be some of the best events to grind in basically every class in this entire game. Like, they really are going to be that effective. And you can also do the one on this island here as well, which is also pretty great. But overall, guys, there is going to be a lot of different ways you can max them out. If you really wanted to, you could probably do like many of the other events and like mix it around. But overall, though, guys, I would say the most important thing is to basically mix around the events a bit. That way it probably doesn't give you like a mental exhaustion. I really do feel like grinding like the exact same event for hours can definitely do that. So I would recommend doing like the Hummer E Express and then going back to like the Get Dirt on it, and then even jumping into like one of the vintage garage races is probably going to be a great way to really mix up like the overall variety in this game with maxing out a class. But if you guys have any questions at all, let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insight.